Greetings and welcome to another episode of World Music Safari. In this edition, the sitar. So the sitar is an instrument that hails from India, and it's beautiful to look at. It actually smells really good too. It smells like a cross between cedar and Nag Champa, and the sound of it is just so unique. It's an instrument all to itself. If there's a representation of a country with a single instrument alone, it's got to be the sitar. So the sitar is actually a relatively easy instrument to learn how to play. I know that sounds crazy because it looks very complicated, but the hardest thing is learning how to hold the damn thing. It's really not that hard to play. The melody is mostly done just on that one F string that you saw me playing. The rest are either sympathetic vibrations or drone strings. I tune mine to C because it's a little bit more easy to play with the piano in C major or C minor, D minor, A minor, and some of the relative diatonic scales when you're in C or A minor. Traditionally, I think they're tuned right around to C sharp, and you can tune them to C sharp, but it's just not as user-friendly to play with guitars and pianos if it's in C sharp. Then you're playing in C sharp minor or D sharp minor. In my case, I'm tuning it to a C, and you can see I'm kind of wrestling with the tuning on some of it. There's one that looks like a swan, and there's a couple of other little slidey white knobs on there. Those are fine tuning tensioners. So if you push it this way, it tensions the string this way, and when you slide it this way, it loosens it up a little bit. So you'll see me kind of mess with those. The larger tuning pegs, there's 7 of those tuning pegs. Only one is the actual melody string. The other 6 are drones. And then all of the little tiny ones, those are individual notes to the scale that you're going to want to play in. Now, I like having the F sharp in there for a little bit of the Lydian aspect to it. I really enjoy that sound. India has a very rich musical tradition with ragas and Indian classical music. Some of the ragas use a very specific scale. Now you'll notice I'm playing F sharp in my particular scale. I just love the Lydian scale. And a lot of jazz aficionados really like classical Indian music because it has a rich tradition of improvisation. And of course, I'd be remiss to not mention the Beatles, who went over to India and studied the sitar in India, and then of course brought it back over to America and incorporated it into their songs. So in a way, we're familiar with that instrument simply because the Beatles brought it over. The nice thing about the sitar is it is very approachable. So if you play guitar or even ukulele, trust me, you can actually play the sitar. The base of the sitar sits on your left foot, and then the sitar kind of sits on your leg, and then the top of your arm rests on the base of the sitar, so it kind of holds it at that angle so that you can actually play it. And you'll notice the pick that I use, it's actually attached to my finger, so the end of it kind of wraps around the front of my finger so that I'm going up and down on the string like this. So it wraps around here, and the little triangle goes right on the tip of my finger. You get used to it, especially if you're a guitar player. It's a little tough. You're going to want to use a pick, but it gets easier as you do it. The hard part is when you're bending notes. A really good sitar player can actually play a 3 or 4 note scale by just bending the note up and down. I am by no means that good. I try it a little bit, but it doesn't work out quite as well. So another cool thing about the sitar is the frets are movable. Now, I don't move the frets. I'm not that good. They came the way they are, and that's how I'm going to leave them. They're pretty expensive, I'm not going to lie. I think they're the student one, you'll notice I've got the extra strings for the sympathetic vibrations, and I've got the extra tumba on the top there. Some student sitars don't have the extra sympathetic strings and the extra tumba. It's just one piece with the gourd on the bottom of it. Sympathetic strings. So what that means is each of those little tiny strings underneath the larger drone strings are tuned to a specific note. And when I play that note on the main melody string, the other string is going to sympathetically vibrate. So it means it's kind of transferring its vibrational energy. I know that sounds totally new age, but it literally does transfer that vibrational energy to the other string that's a passive string, and it starts vibrating too. When I play certain notes on the scale of that sitar, you can hear the other ones start to vibrate. I think the wind might be a little too much too, but we'll see. Alright gang, well that's it for this episode of World Music Safari. I hope you enjoyed our tour of the sitar and maybe inspired you to play one.